let's jump to St. Teresa of Avila and the interior castle and the 9 levels of prayer that exist and that she reveals to us.
Right. So just up front, I'm going to name them. So that way you have it in front of you to meditate on, and then we'll go into it a little bit more. So St. Teresa of Avila mentions 9 levels of prayer. The first level is vocal prayer. The second level is mental prayer. The third level is affective prayer. The fourth level is the prayer of simplicity. The fifth level is the prayer of mystical contemplation. The sixth level is the prayer of quiet. The seventh level is the prayer of union. The eighth level is the prayer of conforming union, also known as ecstatic union. And the ninth level is the prayer of transforming union, also known as mystical marriage itself. So as you can see, there's kind of a progression of intensity that's going on there. And she expresses her personal prayer life, obviously as a leader of a group of religious women, and not only to give that to the church, but to try to, to get to heaven herself, like we're all hopefully trying to do, but to lead her sisters to heaven, which was her duty as a mother superior. And she ended up codifying in a way, being able to explain such challenging to verbalize deep experiences with God, some natural and some supernatural. So one manner in which she breaks down these 9 levels of prayer is through her Interior Castles tome, in which she explains that there are 7 mansions in the soul, and it brings back meditations on how our Lord prepares a place for us, a dwelling place for us, right? Even a mansion, even many mansions. And the deeper that you go into the center of your very being, the center of your essence, your soul itself, the further you can go into more and more of these mansions. So she has 7 mansions in that book, and those 7 mansions, just to parse it out with the 9 levels of prayer, the first mansion corresponds to vocal prayer. The second mansion corresponds to both mental and affective prayer, so levels 2 and 3. The third mansion corresponds to the prayer of simplicity. The fourth mansion corresponds to both mystical contemplation and the prayer of quiet. So you've got your 5th and 6th levels of prayer there. And then mansions 5 through 7 correspond to the last 3 levels. So 5 is the prayer of union, 6 is the prayer of ecstatic union, 7 is the prayer of mystical marriage itself. So
The 7th mansion.
That's right. The 7th and final mansion, which is at the innermost center of your soul.
Which is the 9th level of prayer.
Right, which St. Teresa elsewhere calls the apex of the soul, is the spirit, right? Where you kind of, your essence and God's essence can come together through this sort of divinization that is the end of the spiritual life. Right? And some quip that there is a 10th level of prayer, which is the beatific vision itself, right? Which is, of course, experience of God in heaven. Right. But the closest that we have to that on this earth would be level 9, which is what we are all called. Every soul on this earth, every person on earth, whether you identify as Catholic, Christian, or not, are called to the 9th level of prayer, which is this mystical marriage, this visceral union with God. It's basically heaven on earth. So,
whereas the 10th level is heaven, and heaven is,
yes,
we mentioned. So we want to reach level 9 before we die.